We're going to go over dividing a decimal by another decimal in this video. But first, we're going to look at actually equivalent fractions. So to find equivalent fractions, you can multiply the top and the bottom of a fraction by the same thing. A fraction can also be written as division. So these are actually the same things. Okay, we're going to use that principle when we have both decimals. So to rewrite these questions without decimals, I could times by 10, and this would give me 32 over 13. Remember, when you times by 10, you're basically moving the decimal place 1 to the right. If you times by 100, like on this one, you're moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So you get 845 over 212. So we're going to use that principle of equivalent decimals so that we can get a decimal out of the divisor. Okay, our divisor here, we do not want to have a decimal in it. So what we can do is move the decimal point or times by 10 or 100 as many times as we need to. So that would be 1 place. I just have to make sure I move the decimal place the same number of times, so 1 place. So this question actually ends up being 35.2 divided by 21. Okay, in this next one, I need to move the decimal point 2 places to get rid of it in the divisor, in this number right here. So I need to move the decimal place 2 places here, so fill a 0 in there. So this actually ends up being 630 divided by 145. And then I can do my long division. So let's do a couple examples of that. So if I were to rewrite this using long division, I need to move my decimal point 1 place over to make it 42. Move my decimal place 1 place over to make that. And I'm going to put a 0. So I'm going to rewrite this as 42 with the 0 on the end. Okay, 31,290 divided by 42. And then I can do my long division. Okay, it's a little bit harder with a 2-digit number as a divisor, but I can still do it. So 42 doesn't go into 31, but 42 goes into 312 7 times. 7 times 42, so I could do it on the side here if I wasn't sure. 14, 28, 29. It's supposed to be 294. Then I need to subtract. Don't forget to borrow. So 2 minus 4 I can't do, so I need to borrow that. That's 0, so this becomes 12. This is 8. Borrow from the 2, that becomes 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0, so I have 18. Then I need to bring down the 9. Then I need to see how many times 42 goes into 189, which is 4 times. 4 times 42 is 168. Subtract this. I get 21. Bring down the 0. I see how many times 42 goes into 210. That's 5. 5 times 42 is exactly 210, which worked out for me. So that is my solution, 745. Let's set up and try one more here. So this would be 46.84 divided by 0.05. To get rid of my decimal in the divisor, I need to move it 2 times, which would be like timesing it by like 100. So times this one by 100 or move that 2 times. So my question ends up being 4,684 divided by 5. So then I do my long division. 5 doesn't go into 4. 5 goes into 46 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract, I get 1. Bring down. 5 goes into 18 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, I get 3. Bring down, I get 4. 5 goes into 34 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, I get 4. I can add a 0. bring down. I get 40 down there. 5 goes into 40 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, I get 0. So that's good. Now I made sure I added a 0 here, so I have to put a decimal in. It goes straight up. So that would be my solution. This solution is the same as if I were to do 46.84 divided by 0.05 because I've created everything equivalent. Everything's the same. I've just changed the decimal places. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try these using long division and that strategy that we just talked about. And I will show you the solution in a second. So pause the video. Okay, here are the solutions using long division. So check your answers. If you did not get that answer, go back and try it again and make sure that you do end up getting those answers.